This video is now in session, and for this redistricting video, we're going to talk about 3 states. Oregon, Colorado, as well as Missouri. And then if we can fit Ohio, then that's what we're going to do. So let's start from the west with Oregon. Oregon is is expected to gain a congressional district, which presents a pretty unique opportunity for Democrats. This is one of the only states where there's a gain in congressional districts for Democrats that Democrats can actually control. This is one of the only states that Democrats have a control in the redistricting process. And if you wonder why a lot of Democratic states have an independent commission that manages the redistricting, that was the Democrats' fault. That Democrats chose to have an independent commission, and technically, I wouldn't say it's a fault because I am for independent commissions. They are way better than the state legislatures managing this redistricting process. That said, since Republicans aren't doing the same thing with their states, then ultimately Democrats are just shooting themselves in the foot with this. As a result, but I guess they could say that they are more of an ethical party than Republicans. That said, Oregon is one of the only states that actually, where Democrats can actually control the redistricting process, in addition to Nevada and New Mexico, which we already went through, and as well as Massachusetts. So, So Oregon, it's great for Democrats that they're gaining an electoral vote. That said, it's pretty hard to kind of utilize this congressional district that would be favorable for them. The reason why is because Portland is because literally almost all of the Democratic vote is centered in Portland and in Eugene, in these two areas. So they've done this by making this kind of map where Democrats have a 52% chance here, a 54% chance, and then a 99 and a 94% chance. They've already split Portland into 3 different congressional districts. So it's very hard for Portland to be split into a 4th congressional district, and then while making sure that the rest of these congressional districts can stay Democratic. And it's not like they can go to Eugene and try to get this, because Democrats only have a 52% chance of winning in that district. So Dave Wasserman, who is the chief editor of Cook Political, or the founder, I believe, he came up with this map for where the new 6th district would get a little bit of Portland and then connect it to the west of Oregon, which is a little bit less Republican than this part of Oregon. So it would get all of this and then combine it with this, and you can see the size of lead right there. But the problem with this is that I just spoiled what would happen in Colorado. But what would happen with this is that Democrats might get challenged in the court with the 6th district not being compact enough. That it might be challenged, and if that goes through, then there's no other option for Democrats but to make the 6th district the final and new district to be part of Republicans instead of Democrats. That said, I did say that if there were court challenges that would happen, then unless if I'm definitely sure that the court would rule in favor of the plaintiffs, then I'm gonna just say that the court would go for would negate the plaintiffs. So I'm going to keep with that trend and act as if the 6th congressional district is going to go for Democrats, because the court might because I'm assuming that the court would strike down any Republican opposition to this map. So let's color this light blue. And it's one of the only states that we've colored light blue. The other one is New Mexico, and I think that's literally it. So that is Oregon. Now let's move over to Colorado. Also, if you wonder what a Republican gerrymander would be, this is what it would look like, where Republicans would have 3 congressional districts, and Democrats can have 2. Now, with the addition of a new congressional district, Republicans could actually gain a congressional district with a 4 seat majority, even though Democrats usually win Oregon by safe margins at this point. So that is Oregon. Now let's go over to Colorado. Colorado is another state where an electoral vote can again, if I say electoral vote, I'm referring to congressional district. It's because I usually when I say something about gain-in votes, I usually talk about electoral votes and not congressional districts. So that's just something to note. For Colorado, they gain in a congressional district, and that means they will have a total of, I think, how do I not know this? They would be gaining one, so that they would have a total of 8 congressional districts, and this new congressional district that Democrats will be in control of, I think. Let's go over here. Oh, it's it's independent commission, but Democrats will most likely gain this electoral vote, this congressional district, with the new 8th one being right here. That said, this 8th one would be super, super competitive, like incredibly competitive. Let's go over to the Colorado Senate race, and let's look at the margin of victory. As you can see here, it would be stretching around, this new congressional district would be around here. So yeah, these two I'd say cancel out each other, and then there will be some parts of Boulder County, in my opinion, that would be part of this congressional district, and that would cancel out parts of Jackson County, and as well as parts of Morgan County. So I do think this will lean more towards Democrats. That said, in a Republican wave year, I can definitely foresee see a potential for Republicans to easily gain this congressional district. That said, I'm gonna keep it as Democratic, mainly because it just favors Democrats. So how I would do that is not through style, but I would do through delegate edit, and then add 1 delegate right there, and then go back to fill. And then get this seat in. So that's so this is what the new map would look like. And for those who wonder if Lauren Boebert could get put into a Democratic district, I don't think that would happen. So actually, yeah, okay. So Lauren Boebert is in Rifle, Colorado. Oh, how fitting. She loves guns, and she lives in a town called Rifle. So that's in the 3rd congressional district, which is more towards Republicans. So actually, Democrats, if they really, really wanted to, they could cede parts of the 2nd congressional district, like maybe this area, and then they could try to extend this area so that it includes Rifle. Now, the 2nd congressional district leans more for Democrats, so that would actually be a way to get Lauren Boebert out of the U.S. Congress. I'm not for or against that. I'm just saying that Democrats could do that. So that is Colorado. Now let's go over to Missouri. Missouri used to be a pretty swing state. In 2008, John McCain won Missouri by only 0.1 percentage points. That said, ever since that election, Missouri has been going more and more towards Republicans. So right now, Democrats control 2 congressional districts from Missouri. It's through Kansas City right here with Emanuel Cleaver, and as well as Cori Bush of Missouri's 1st district. Now, is there a way? That's Ohio, not Missouri. Is there a way for Republicans to get this district out? Certainly. If you look over here, this is definitely a way for them to get Emanuel Cleaver out of his district. It will place him in a Republican district, which means that he would most likely lose, and as a result, Republicans would gain a congressional district. And for Missouri, it's not like they are gaining or losing congressional districts to any other to any other state. So that's another gain for Republicans just by redistricting. And I think we can fit Ohio into this video. So Ohio is going to be the first very contentious state that we have besides Nevada. I don't think you can really count New Mexico as a contentious state, but yeah. So this will be the second contentious state. For Ohio, they are set to lose congressional district because there are not really that many people moving over to Ohio. So this is what Dave Wasserman came up with in terms of his map. And before we do that, I just need to quickly update this where it would be gain for Republicans right there, and then that would be 1-7. Okay, 1-7 right there. I think that's right. And then the other one would be Colorado, right? Colorado would have a total of 9 congressional districts, I believe. Okay, so that would be a gain for blue, another state for Democrats. And how many districts are there total? 7, so that means there will be 8 total. Okay, yeah, this is right. 5-3, 5-3, 3-4. Yep. Okay. Ohio. Let's go to Ohio now. So they are set to lose an electoral vote, congressional district. I keep mixing them up, but the difference between 2010 and 2020 is that Republicans now definitely control Ohio with all 3 parts of the state government, the state house, the state senate, and as well as the governor's mansion, which is controlled by Mike DeWine, more of a moderate kind of Republican, but still a Republican. And as a result, Ohio could be gerrymandered even further. Currently, it's pretty gerrymandered. Just look at Jim Jordan's district. He's from the 4th district, and you can see this is literally this is very easily gerrymandered. And you can see how the 9th one is gerrymandered, the 11th is very gerrymandered, so is the 13th, and as well as the 3rd district. And you could even say that the 1st district is gerrymandered, as well as the 7th district. But they can gerrymander this even further. And in my opinion, this map looks less gerrymandered than the one it currently looks like. That said, and still more gerrymandered than before. This is different from Dave Wasserman's map, but I think they ultimately come out to the same thing, where it would be 13 Republicans and 2 Democrats instead of 4 Democrats and 12 Republicans. So currently it's 12 and 4 because this one is more likely to go Republicans. And then here in a Republican gerrymander, it would be 14 and 2. So it would be Cleveland and Columbus. This is what gerrymandering does. It cracks and packs voters. So here it packs voters. Columbus is pretty Democratic, so it packs it into one to waste half of the Democrats' votes in that congressional district. And then here it cracks it. So Cleveland is cracked into multiple parts. It's cracked into here, here, and here, so that their representation is much less. So ultimately, it is a 12. 12 and 2. And let's see, where is Ohio? Ohio, why is it 1 and how did I get 1 and 14? Anyway, it's supposed to be 2 and 14. 2 and 13, I mean. Okay, so that is the map so far. I also have to adjust this because this is a rolling map. I'm using the same map for every single one of these redistricting videos. So what I'll do is I'll just I'll put what do I do? I'll put this one as 0, and then I'll change this over to fill, and then I'll give this to Republicans, but then I'll also give this one to Republicans and this one to Republicans. And because of the intense gerrymandering that Republicans are going to do in Ohio, they are gerrymandering Tim Ryan's seat even further, and most likely his district will most likely be the one that's axed because there is going to be one less congressional district. And as a result, Tim Ryan is most likely going to run for the 2022 U.S. Senate race in Ohio against whoever the Republican nominee is in Ohio. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next video, we are going to go into even more contentious states. Most likely I'll be doing I'll probably, anyway, it'll be, you'll know in the next video. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This video is now adjourned, and I'll see you in the next one.